The Dungeon Master Experience is a series of articles written by Chris Perkins in Dungeon Magazine in 2011. The following readings are his words, and though produced before the current edition, still contains great insights, advice, and tips for Dungeon Masters for any edition, and for that matter, any TTRPG. Player vs. Player, 12/22/2011, Wednesday night. Several sessions ago, the heroes learned the true name of the Raven Queen, the God of Fate. The details of how this occurred aren't important. What is important is that the heroes have, over the course of the campaign, made enemies of Vecna and his followers. The God of Secrets has been searching for clues to the Raven Queen's true name for ages, hoping this knowledge would enable him to usurp her portfolio and become the undisputed Lord of Death. Obviously, the Raven Queen doesn't want her secret to fall into Vecna's hand. Rodney Thompson plays Vargas, a sworn servant of the Raven Queen. Recently, the Raven Queen contacted Vargas and declared that he was destined to become her eternal champion. But first, he must keep her true name hidden from infidels who might use the knowledge against her. She tasked him with slaying everyone in possession of this knowledge, starting with his friends. Last night, worshippers of the Raven Queen began to flock to Vargas' side, keen to help him complete whatever tasks the Raven Queen set before him. Meanwhile, Vargas has been searching for a way to protect the Raven Queen's secret without turning on his fellow party members. The Vecnites are known to have rituals that can erase people's memories. Perhaps he can use such a ritual on his companions and erase the Raven Queen's true name from their minds, but that would mean confronting the servants of Vecna directly. A risky proposition, to say the least. So far, he's declined to share the details of his mission with the rest of the party. Will he find an end around before the Raven Queen grows impatient? And is the party doomed to self-destruct? What would drive a dungeon master, particularly an experienced one, to deliberately turn player characters against one another? Seems like an act of sheer madness. D&D is supposed to encourage player cooperation and teamwork, and frankly, players are quite capable of turning on one another without the DM's assistance. Why provoke inter-party discord and distrust? Maybe I am chaotic evil. Maybe I'm just playing crazy for putting Rodney's character in this situation of choosing between his deity and his friends. But as a storyteller, the predicament fascinates me on many levels. First and foremost, it's a conundrum that isn't solved by the simple casting of a spell, the spending of gold pieces, or the success of a skill check. Rodney isn't going to buy or talk his way out of this one. I also love the notion that the Raven Queen's command not only puts Vargas to the test, but also puts Rodney's play skill to the test. How much information should he share with the other players? How ready and willing is he to put his character in jeopardy? Can he figure out some out-of-the-box way to protect the Raven Queen's secret and still keep the party from imploding? As a DM, I'm willing to risk party implosion for good drama. I'm enamored with the notion that good conflict doesn't always come from without. Sometimes it comes from within. A lot of television series rely on internal conflict to fuel drama. I'm thinking now of Lee Apollo Adama and Kara Starbuck Thrace from the reimagined Battlestar Galactica series. Here we have two heroic characters periodically at odds with one another, as well as their commanding officers. In some cases, they make choices that fracture their adventuring party, feeling much of the show's drama. Yet somehow, they always pull it together. In my campaign, I've adopted the mentality that whether the party survives or not is totally in the player's hands. My job is to keep the campaign alive until such time as the player's choices lead to a natural or sudden conclusion. As far as I can tell, my players enjoy getting together every Wednesday night to play their characters. They're not going to let themselves become the instruments of the campaign's demise, and so they fight me at every turn to keep the party from disintegrating. How far will my players go to keep the game alive? Pretty damn far. They enable me to indulge my inner demon's storytelling shenanigans. Lessons learned. The title of this article is a deliberate misnomer. Despite everything I've said up to this point, I am not actually talking about player versus player conflict at all. It's a silly DM who turns players against one another. What I'm really talking about here is character versus character, and an experienced DM who knows his players well can run a game in which the heroes occasionally find themselves at cross purposes that could, under certain conditions, escalate into all-out conflict. It's been my experience that you need 3 things to pull it off. Players who genuinely like each other and enjoy a role-playing challenge, a little foreshadowing so the players can steel themselves, and wiggle room so that the players can consider their alternatives. My Wednesday night players are fond of inserting little character versus character moments into the campaign that are usually played for laughs, so I felt pretty comfortable inciting a more serious inter-party conflict by testing Vargas's loyalty to the Raven Queen. I'm lucky because my players all have thick skins and a sense of humor, and they rarely let a good role-playing opportunity go to waste. There was a nice bit of foreshadowing when the characters discovered the Raven Queen's true name. Players knew that this discovery might come back to haunt them at some point, particularly given Vargas's link to the Raven Queen, and the conflict organically stemmed from this discovery. Finally, I could have had the Raven Queen tell Vargas to turn on his friends immediately, but that paints Rodney into a corner. Allowing Vargas time to wrestle with the decision gives Rodney time to think of ways to satisfy the Raven Queen's desires and save the party. I have no qualms about creating situations in which characters are incited to turn against each other, but when it's over, I still want my players to be friends, not enemies. I might be crazy, but I'm not looking to end my campaign with a fistfight at the game table. Until the next encounter. Don't forget, just kidding, not today. Some of you might know that this is actually the last article in the series. This is the end of an era of sorts. I appreciate deeply all of you who've joined me, who've commented, who've subscribed. At this point, I'm at 401 subscribers. To think that I would have made it to this point is quite surprising. I don't know if surprising, but enjoyable. It's very pleasing to make it this far. And I'm going to be starting a little event to a road to 500, but that's not what we're going to talk about. I want to just thank you all. And a couple of people in particular. Those who have commented on my videos pretty frequently, and one who inspired me to get back into it. Codes 0704 and the Mighty Battle Squid, you two are probably my 2 most common commenters, and I appreciate it. The amount of engagement you keep on my videos is very much appreciated. But I also want to thank Justin Hereford 6071. You are the reason I got back to this. The fact that you so much enjoyed this series really gave me the inspiration to get back to it and finish it, and I do not regret it one bit. It has gotten us to this point, and I look forward to going much further with you all. And once again, thank you so much. You'll learn more about my plans as the days go on. I can't keep going after this with this ending because I am sick right now. And the recording is going to take forever to edit because I sound like a sick person, but the show must go on. Once again, thank you.